The Worlds of Fun opening night of Haunt. I don't ever do the haunted houses, but I love the night rides, and being open till midnight, that is what makes this event so awesome. Is you got a lot of time for night rides. Yeah, Six Flags Over Texas, they're only open till 10. You don't get much time. I just got off the boomerang. One of the smoothest boomerangs there is. It tracks very smooth. Wow, Prowler is hauling tonight. It's only been open for an hour and 20 minutes and it's already hauling. I was here 2 weeks ago for Labor Day weekend, and I wouldn't say that was the strongest Prowler's ever run. Not the weakest either. Although I've only caught Prowler running weak, usually like first thing in the morning. That's one thing, a lot of GCIs, they take several hours to warm up. Prowler seems to only need about 30 minutes, and then it's hauling. But 2 weeks ago it wasn't running at its best, but it was still great. But now it is in top form. And that just solidifies it. This is the best GCI in my opinion. Three and a half hours down, but it's up now. I rode in row 3, that's the magic seat. And if you've ridden Mamba in past years and you remember it being kind of an underwhelming hyper, well, I would agree with you about that in the past. It is not that way anymore. It is hauling now compared to past years. And past years, I would have said that those bunny hills towards the end of the ride, that series of bunny hills did nothing, absolutely nothing. You were at 1G the whole way. It was pretty boring. Now the mid-course is off, or if it's hitting very lightly, and you are just flying with incredible airtime on every single one of those hills. And I even think the first half is hauling a lot more than in past years. So this went from maybe the weakest hyper of all, among all manufacturers, to one of the strongest. According to my stopwatch, trying my best, I came up with 20 seconds of airtime on Mamba and 5 seconds of airtime on that first big camelback hill. So that's just as good as Mako's as far as sustained floater airtime. And I think I counted 20 seconds on Mako too, so Mamba's got just as much airtime in terms of duration as Mako. But I think it's got more moments. Those bunny hills at the end are very quick pops. You're out of your seat and then right back down over and over. And I ended the day with 4 night rides on Prowler in the last about 30 minutes. And Friday nights seem to be a really good night to come to Haunt. At least here on the first Friday night of Haunt. The line for Prowler was about 25 minutes at around the 8 o'clock hour. But here at the end, it was basically a walk-on. I'm so glad that they lightened up on that mid-course. It's still catching, but just barely. You get incredible airtime on that series of bunny hills. Got 5 rides in about an hour and 10 minutes. I did cash in my fast lane, and it didn't not saving me much right now. Maybe get me on one train sooner, but it'll really come in handy in the evening time. I know when I did the Cedar Point pass renewal, you were not able to use your fast lane, your free fast lane on Saturday. Here you can, or at least I was able to. If I wasn't supposed to, they let me. But that is the benefit of buying your season pass early. I think it was August 14th you had to buy it in order to get the free fast lane. So $275 including fees for a platinum pass. But when you consider that I get one free fast lane out of it, that's basically about $60 to $70 worth here.
we gotta go right over there.
It's been mixing things up since 1953. It's actually more like Logan. It's rated one of the top wood roller coasters in the world. This beast of a coaster is named within the parks. Actually went a terrain featuring a spiraling 85-foot drop. Ice skating and ground-legged curves. Once again, folks, I'd like
Gotta love that timing.
You guys they came in to clean it up. Well, they cleaned it up so well, they left the dry goods store in an outhouse. And once the outhouse overflowed, it's been a ghost town ever since.
Most SNS drop towers are pretty weak. They're mostly just observational rides, but this one's different. After it launches you up, you get some great airtime at the top, but there is no real drop on it. It just kind of brings you back down. I know Zamperla's got their version of this, but this is still better. An inverting flat ride with no restraints. Zamperla's version might feel more exposed, but having no restraints makes this better. The fog starts, and the music starts blaring here in a little bit, leading up to the monsters being released. I've been in the park for 7.5 hours. It's 7 o'clock now. Only ridden Prowler 3 times, even with Passeline. But I'll make up for it over these final 5 hours.
From out of the abyss of corn come those who stalk the living. Take up your sickle and let me hear you howl. The reaping has begun in corn stalkers. My mischievous minions lurk within the shadows and the fog, deep within Fright Zone. Come forth, the living dead, who before sunrise must feed once again.
Clowns, spirits, cutthroats, and skeletons. My sister and I are wickedly delighted to be back again at World of Fun's Halloween Haunt.
This is why I wear a cheap watch when I come to amusement parks. And what did this to this watch? Prowler, of course. This is so aggressive. This is such an insane ride. Of all the insane rides that I've ridden, X2, Intimidator 305, Twisted Timbers, Storm Chaser, rides that are crazy intense, crazy insane, or with crazy ejector airtime, none of them have broke my watch. This is the watch I've worn for about 5 years on like every roller coaster. None of them broke my watch. Prowler did. Congratulations, Prowler. I went to the show that's in this theater. It was a good show, but fair warning, there's limited seating in there. So you might want to show up early because it fills up, especially if you're here on a Saturday. I finished the day with 16 rides on Prowler. So that takes me up to over 150 lifetime. Second most ridden coaster by a long shot. In third place is a Mako with an even 100. And then there's Iron Rattler, it's over 200 now. Don't think Prowler's gonna catch that. And during Haunt, whenever they don't have Haunt going on Sundays, that's the time to come here because there's like no lines. In 2 hours and 45 minutes, I've gotten 16 coaster rides. That's basically averaging one every 10 minutes. But I do think they are doing Haunt on a Sunday, 3 Sundays in October, so those might be busy. But other than that, they do not do Haunt on Sundays, and seems to draw a much lighter crowd. And one thing that's great about Worlds of Fun is that even on quiet days, they run 2 trains on Mamba, 2 trains on Prowler, 2 on Patriot, and if they can, 2 on Timberwolf. I think at one time I've seen them running 1. They might have had a problem with the other train, but they usually run 2. And of course, Boomerang, they can only run 1. And it's a hot day, and even this doesn't have much of a line. I have never ridden Fury. It's just, those are just not my kind of rides. I just don't care for them. Even the best ones that people say are so great, for some reason, I just don't like them. I know there are people out there that love those rides though, like a Canopy Coaster. I know that you love those circular raft rides. Yeah, they're just not for me, and that's nothing wrong with that. Just difference in tastes, I guess. And if you're overhearing people, it's common at Cedar Fair, but that's all Cedar Fair parks, but very prevalent at Worlds of Fun. It is not Mamba, it is the Mamba. It is not Prowler, it is the Prowler. It's not Patriot, it is the Patriot. You have to put the in front of every ride's name. So 10 laps on Prowler today. That makes for 34 for the weekend, 40 for the year, and over 160 lifetime. I think that these trees over here have filled in a lot, because I remember being able to see more of this turn, the turn that goes through the lift hill structure. I remember seeing more of that before. Or am I just imagining that? I don't know. Well, my first time riding this was in 2011, and I had never ridden anything like that before that just went through the trees, through the woods like that. And considering every other ride here in this park is out in the wide open, and this goes through the trees, that's what makes this unique. That was one of the things that just really impressed me. I'd never ridden anything like that before at the time. But add to that the incredible airtime, the aggressive maneuvers. I think it's the best airtime of any GCI in North America. It's just that people like Mystic Timbers better because it's at Kings Island. People just like Kings Island so much that they overemphasize the strengths of those rides, and they don't care for Worlds of Fun, so they underemphasize the strength of Prowler. And people's hate for Worlds of Fun is completely unjustified, because this is a great park. This is better than Six Flags Over Texas. This is better than a lot of Six Flags parks. And I'm a big Six Flags fan, okay? So that's not dissing on Six Flags at all. I just think that this park is that good. And it is on the rise. I think we are just some small improvements and one big new addition away from really moving up into that upper mid-tier of Cedar Fair parks. I think we're already in the mid-tier. We are not. This is not a lower-tier Cedar Fair park. This is up there with California's Great America, probably even ahead of it. I'd even make the argument for this to be ahead of Canada's Wonderland. And I believe that this is the one significant addition that needs to be made. Not that I think this is going to be like a best coaster in the park. It could be third best. But even if it's number 5, I say this addition is all we need to be up in an upper mid-tier Cedar Fair park. Kings Island, Kings Dominion are the upper tier. Cedar Point is, at least it should be. Carowinds I see as an upper mid-tier. I think Zambezi Zinger is gonna put us right up there with them. I just made a lot of people mad with that statement, and I don't care. I might be back before the end of Haunt, I don't know. It is a 5-hour drive. I can do that on any weekend, but we'll see. I've also got my Silver Dollar City Pass this year, so I'm gonna want to check that out.